By the way, to get on our show, go to our web channel, CentralValleyTalk.com. There's a button you could click that says, I'd like to be a guest. You click the button, fill out the form. Next thing you know, you're on the show, and we want to have you here. Now, we are looking around for answers to COVID. We don't really know that much about it. How long is it going to last? Is there going to be a vaccine? If there's a vaccine, will you take it? I'm not sure if I will yet. Let's find out more about it. But we've asked a special guest in to talk to us about businesses and getting through COVID, and here's some ideas. Our guest is Pastor Tom Sims. Welcome, Pastor Sims.
Thank you.
Tell us about COVID. Where are we? Where should we be? What should we be doing?
Well, I think it's affecting everyone. And since I've been a pastor 45 years and a community advocate and leader in community organizations, I've also been involved in the online world for since the time when Clinton was president, because I helped start the White House Forum on CompuServe. So I feel like I've been in social media before anybody knew it. So I've got the same challenges going, and I've needed to regroup, do all my teaching online, doing all my pastoring online, and I'm doing my business online, which is coaching and helping people learn how to communicate, businesses, nonprofits, and others, how to navigate this new reality that we have. So, I mean, it touches every area of my life. I feel like I've been prepared to it with my online stuff, my involvement with Toastmasters, my involvement with the community. One of the first things we did early in this in the season is we set up a page on Facebook for people to share resources. And I think that link may be on the screen somewhere.
Yes,
but we grew to 2,300 members just very quickly. Businesses, nonprofits, government people, just sharing resources of how do we cope with COVID. But through my own business, Workshops to Go, I offer coaching, personal coaching, seminars, content creation, just a little bit of guidance, asking the right questions of what is your plan? How are you going to navigate the new reality? And I think there's a great opportunity in it. I think you're embracing the opportunity. And I want people to be able to think from the point of view of opportunity. What are some things you can do now that you couldn't do then? And what are some ways that people are going to be receptive to your message? And how can you deliver it more effectively?
Right. Now, you think this is going to be with us for a while then?
Here's what we don't know. We don't know how long this particular virus is going to be with us. We do know that people have been telling us that we are set up for pandemics. They've been telling us for years. And we skated by several. So I think that there is a new pandemic awareness that is going to change the way we think and the way we do business. And I don't think that people are going to take for granted that it couldn't happen again. I think what we're in is going to be with us for a while.
Yeah.
But I think that when we get to the place where we're going out more and shaking hands again and meeting people at Starbucks, I think that things will be different. I think the way that people arrange their furniture is going to be different. I think the way people build their buildings are going to be different. I think the way that they structure their businesses and their communication will be different. And the smart money is on preparing now.
Preparing now, yeah. So you kind of alluded to, we've had a few of these go through, these potential pandemics, and us lay people who didn't have to deal with it, we didn't take it that serious. We didn't change the way we did things. But this one could change all of our thinking forever, I guess.
I think so. And I think that there's certainly, it's easy to see the downside of that. It's always easy to see the downside. But if we embrace the opportunity, if we get out ahead of it, I think we can be ready. I think there are people who are going to move their own businesses and nonprofits faster ahead and are going to find success out of this, as in every crisis people always have.
Now, we've got a great slide up here, content, coaching, communication, with a couple of Facebook addresses. One is facebook.com/Tom Sims, and another one's facebook.com/workshop to go. Workshops
Workshops
to
to
go.
go is my coaching
Workshops,
business.
plural. Workshops to go, right?
Workshops, yeah.
What will you find on
That's
those
where you can find price lists and.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to just ask, what will you find on those Facebook pages?
Well, on the Workshops to Go page, and there's a group associated with that is in its beginning stages. But that's where you can find just encouraging messages, informational messages, things I've found that are out in the public sphere that I think would be helpful to people.
Some resources.
Yeah, and personal and business development. I have many pages and groups that I manage because that's what I do.
Okay.
But on that one, there are excerpts of things that I've found. Also, just kind of a link to this business and the services I offer. On my personal page, I'm always spending time every week, every day, eliminating people that aren't active anymore. I'm trying to keep it, you can only have 5,000 friends on there, and I keep it around 4,900.
Yeah.
And the only way I can accept new people is I just have to.
Got to dump
if somebody's been dead long enough, I take them off.
Yeah.
But on that page, anybody can follow. Okay. Anybody can follow my stuff, and anyone can comment. Anybody can communicate. Anyone can ask a question, and that's where I post just loads and loads of content.
Right. Now, back to COVID, it's new to most people. Like you said, you started way back in the Clinton era, getting ready for this, communicating, being in groups, social media, kind of networking and stuff like that. But now a lot of people who took that for granted are having to wake up to the idea that this is the way it is now.
That's right. I mean, in the 80s and 90s, when CompuServe had 1 million and 2 million people on it, and the forums were active, then AOL came along, Prodigy, and some other people jumped on, and there were people that were involved. There were high-powered people that were communicating with ordinary people. And for us who were in those communities, that was a reality. And I still have those friendships that I've developed. I still do business with some of those people. For 25 years, I've been writing a column for some people that I met in a CompuServe forum, and that were on my volunteer staff, one of the forums that I manage. So this is a real world. Our online friends are real people, and the relationships we build and the business relationships and the professional relationships that we can cultivate are real. And one of the things I like to do in coaching is help people see that and help people see, and even pastors. I'm teaching some classes with pastors on how do you do ministry online, because I've been doing ministry online for all these years, and it's real. The people are real. We follow up with phone calls. I've gone to the airport. When I was in San Jose, I would meet somebody at the airport. We would have a cup of coffee. Then they'd get on their next plane and fly off. And so there's not a disconnect between real-time, three-dimensional relationships and what we do online. I realize the quality is different, but if we approach it as real people, talking to real people, I think it can be a very effective thing.
Very good. Now, your company, Workshops to Go, people who are fumbling around trying to get maybe a business with 10 workers, 20 workers, 30 workers, they're trying to figure out which way they should go. Is that business set up to help people like that?
Mainly, the focus is how do you communicate? How can you more effectively communicate? I have a wife who is a whiz at helping small businesses write business plans, so I can bring her into the mix if she will, and she will. She's helped many people think through their business plans. I'm not primarily a business strategist. I have done some business. I have strategized some. I've led nonprofits, and I've been on the boards of nonprofits. But I can recommend people that can help you with the business side, how you manage your employees, personal relationships, communication, getting your message out, refining your message, using the social media that's involved in us, developing a platform, developing a following. Those are the kinds of things that I can help with.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of businesses are right now. They're the rug pulled out from under them when it comes to communicating with their workers, their customers. Hey, we're still here, keep coming. things like that. So I think we're going to all learn how to do that again, or in a new way, and forever.
Yes.
Now, I noticed for me this season, since March, I haven't been sick. Not only have I not had COVID, but I haven't had a cold or a flu or anything. So in a way, I think it's helping me to wear this mask and be a little distance from people and not shake hands. And I'm from the Tower District here, where everybody wants to hug me for some reason, but that's all behind us, maybe forever.
Yeah, I miss hugging. I like to hug my friends and shake hands with my friends and be face to face, look eyeball to eyeball, sip coffee with them. I grieve that may not come back at the same level. And I think we're going to have ways to do it. I go to the grocery store, I wear my mask. I spent 3 weeks at UCLA Santa Monica Hospital for a 4-day stay. Ended up with 22, and so I've been extra careful. I wear double protection when I go out to the grocery store, and I ran into someone who didn't recognize me. I had to tell my name, and she said, "Well, you're looking good." I said, "Well, how can you tell?" I had a shield over my eyes. I had a mask over my face.
Yeah.
And
well, in our business, we set out a model. This is 10, 12 years ago, where we're only going to communicate with people through email. Instead of like you booked your spot here, we didn't get on the phone and talk back and forth for a week picking your spot. We send you a list of dates. You tell us the date you want. We put you on the show. We just find there's so many people that just need that direct communication. And no matter how inefficient it is, but some people want to talk on the phone. Some people want to talk face to face. But I think we're going to see all communications are going to be different.
Well, one of the things that I have been teaching people for years is to really ask, what is your preferred way to communicate? If you're in a person-to-person business, and if you can do it. And so I try to help people that need to communicate discover the most effective way to communicate with people. I remember the time I was sitting down with some of my young adults as a pastor, and they said, Tom, if you want to talk to us, you're going to have to learn how to text. Nice. I said, well, teach me how to text. Yeah. And now so much of our communication is through text messaging. Now Instagram, Snapchat, all these, and venues that I really don't understand, like the teenagers are using in their gaming consoles.
Yeah. Instagram is kind of the hot one now. My kids don't want me to know about it because they said that my generation took over their Facebook. Yeah. That's where they were all residing. Now they all moved on to Instagram. They don't want the old people there, but we're in because that's why a lot of the bookings we do for our shows now are through Instagram. So you got to go to how people are communicating. People call me they want to call me on the phone. I'm driving my car and I'm not supposed to answer the phone, but they say, hey, can we meet next Thursday at 2:00? Well, I don't have a way to write it down or respond. And by the time I get to the office, 20 more things that have happened. So if they just send me an email, it's in writing. It's there forever, and it catches me when it's convenient for me. So anyway, communication. You're the expert, and people should talk to Pastor Tom Sims on communication in COVID. How do you keep your business communications going? How do you even let your customers know you're alive? So there's a lot to work through right now. And Pastor Tom Sims has been doing this for years. Before I was born, when Clinton was president, in fact. No, not really, just kidding, Pastor Sims. Now, how do you prefer that people reach you? The Facebook workshops to go or your personal Facebook?
I think that if they can get me through personal Facebook, I think my email address is up there somewhere.
Yeah, we have your address right on the screen there.
Yeah, Pastor, I don't look at the personal messages on Twitter very much, but I'm very involved in Twitter. I mean, public messages on my Facebook, I get quicker than the private messages, but I'll look at those if the spam filter doesn't take over. Yeah. I'm happy to receive a phone call. My phone number is 647-2203, and I have no problem receiving a phone call or a text.
And by the way, the email is pastortomsims@gmail.com.
Right.
Yeah, very good.
And like you, that's the most reliable, foolproof way to get me.
It's always there. You don't miss an email, unless it goes to spam, but that's a whole other story. Pastor Sims, we're about out of time. What would you like to add to this conversation?
I just really look forward to meeting people. I think that is the key. I like people, and I like people in real time. I like people with skin on, and I like people who I only know through pixels. So get in touch with me. I look forward to going back and forth with you.
All right, very good. Especially if you're struggling with communications, how to do it in this day and age, go to Facebook and go to Tom Sims, Facebook/Tom Sims, or email him, or go to this webpage, by the way, PastorTomSims.com. So many ways to reach him. There's no reason you can't communicate with Tom Sims. Thank you, sir, for coming. We want you to come back in a month or so, and we'll catch up more on what's going on with COVID and how we can survive through this and communicate through it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, we'll be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.